Radha Madhav Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Radha Sham Sundar Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Shila Prabhupada. Shila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Reading from Prabhupada, your ever well-wisher. So we are continuing with the chapter Let There Be a Temple Part 1. Srila Prabhupada, however, saw the move as a necessary transcendental tactic. But because he was asking Lord Krishna himself to accept these inconveniences, he prayed to the deity, "My dear sir, please remain here, and I shall build a beautiful temple for you." By the time Prabhupada returned to Bombay, Radha Ras Vihari were installed on the stage of the pandal. Attendance at the festival was not as great as it would have been in downtown Bombay. No more than 500 people came a night. But Srila Prabhupada was satisfied. This festival was on their own property, and this was only the beginning. Within a few days of his arrival at Juhu, Prabhupada was ready to hold the groundbreaking and cornerstone laying ceremony, another tactic for securing possession of the land. But it was more than a tactic, as he wanted a temple constructed as soon as possible. Radha Ras Vihari should not remain standing in a tent, but should be protected by a silver antique wood singhasan on a marble altar. They should be surrounded by deities of the two gopis, Lalita and Vishakha. And the temple should have marble domes more than 100 feet high. Thousands should come daily for darshan and prasadam. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. What? Yes. What a endeavor it was, the Mumbai temple. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. So we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 15, and I think text 4. यथा धानेषु वै धाना भवन्ति न भवन्ति च एवं भूतानि भूतेषु चोदितानि सी मायया यथा दानेषु वै दाना भवन्ति न भवन्ति च एवं भूतानि भूतेषु चोदितानि च मायया यथा दानेषु वै दाना भवन्ति न भवन्ति च एवं भूतानि भूतेषु चोदितानि च मायया. Please chant. Vaishnavis. यथा दानाशु वै दाना भवन्ति न भवन्ति च एवं भूतानि भूतेषु चोदितानि च मायया यथा just as dhanashu through seeds of paddy vai indeed dhana grains bhavanti are generated na not bhavanti are generated cha also evam in this way bhutani the living entities bhuteshu in other living entities choditani impelled isha mayaya by the potency or power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki. When seeds are sown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants and sometimes do not. Sometimes the ground is not fertile and the sowing of seeds is unproductive. Similarly, sometimes a prospective father, being impelled by the potency of the Supreme Lord, can beget a child. But sometimes conception does not take place. Therefore, one should not lament over the artificial relationship of parenthood, which is ultimately controlled by the Supreme Lord. Purport. Mahachitraketu was actually not destined to get a son. Therefore, although he married hundreds and thousands of wives, all of them proved barren, and he could not beget even one child. When Angira Rishi came to see the king requested the great sage to enable him to have at least one son. Because of the blessing of Angira Rishi, a child was sent by the grace of Maya, but the child was not to live for long. Therefore, in the beginning, Angira Rishi told the king that he would beget a child who would cause jubilation and lamentation. King Chitraketu was not destined to get a child by providence or the will of the Supreme. Just as a sterile grain cannot produce more grain, a sterile person, by the will of the Supreme Lord, cannot beget a child. Sometimes a child is born even to an impotent father and sterile mother. and sometimes a potent father and fertile mother are childless. Indeed, sometimes a child is born despite contraceptive methods, and therefore the parents kill the child in the womb. In the present age, killing children in the womb has become a common practice. Why? When contraceptive methods are taken, why don't they act? Why is a child sometimes produced so that the father and mother have to kill it in the womb? We must conclude that our arrangement of so called scientific knowledge cannot determine what will take place. What is enacted actually depends on the supreme will. It is by the supreme will that we are situated in certain conditions in terms of family, community, and personality. These are all arrangements of the Supreme Lord, according to our desires under the spell of Maya illusion. In devotional life, therefore, one should not desire anything since everything depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1111, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. One should act only to develop Krishna consciousness. For everything else, one should fully depend upon the Supreme Person. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. I read the last sentence again. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्किपातं हम वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pray for your blessings. This is Canto 6, Chapter 15. Narada and Angira instruct King Chitraketu. Previous was King Chitraketu's lamentation. So his lamentation was that he was sonless. He wanted a son, and in order to get a son. Okay, just I will ask a question and see if you would like to respond now or think over it or as you see. What is the most powerful force, energy in the entire universe, in the entire creation? Yes, bro.
The first word in the universe was tapa, that Lord Brahma heard. So there are some verses that explains that this is that sacrifice in any field of life is crucial, but most importantly in the service of the Lord.
Thank you. Yeah, austerity is very powerful. Tapa is very powerful. Life is meant for austerities and tapasya. That is the Vedic lifestyle. Everything we do should be done as a sacrifice, as in out of love for Vishnu. So the question being, what is the most powerful force, energy um, in the universe? Like something like Arjuna asked, right? Krishna, Athaikena Bahutena. Uh, like, what is that force by one is impelled to commit sins? Anicham api varsneya bala diva niyojita. although doesn't want to commit sins, but he's forced. Anichamapi varshnaya. Although he does not want to. Baladiva niyojita, but he's forcefully engaged. So, what is that power, force, ultimate power in the universe, in the whole creation, which is making things happen and making not things happen?
Yeah, from that perspective of conditioned souls, power, then it's lust or kama,
Yeah,
which
that is
is
very, very.
transformation of the reason why it is so powerful, because prema is the most powerful force in the spiritual world. So when it becomes polluted in the material world, it remains as powerful, but now it takes a form of kama or lust.
Mm. Yeah, lust is very powerful force in this world. We see a bit something maybe even more powerful, say, than lust, which is kind of driving everything in this world. The most powerful energy force in the universe and say beyond. So King Chitraketu was lamenting that I'm sunless. Many learnings from each of these pastimes, many learnings, endless learnings. So lamentation is one when one feels that I'm incomplete. Chitraketu realized I'm incomplete without a son. And many of us realize we are incomplete again without a son, without a house, without a wife, without a job, without money, without this, without that, and all. Uh, And greatness will be, when will that day come when I realize that I'm incomplete without Krishna's association? When will that day come when I really lament, when I really mourn, grief that I'm incomplete, I'm missing Krishna's devotees, I'm missing that association? And Bhagavatam is there to help us understand that. That is real lamentation, that is transcendental lamentation. Otherwise, this is a world of duality, lamentation, and jubilation. So the king was lamenting, I don't have a son, and in the pursuit to get a child, he married um, millions, 10 million wives, or millions of wives he married. Well, being the king, again, he had the position and he had the influence, he could marry as such whom he desired. He married a million wives, 1 crore wives he had. And with what intent and pursuit? Not as such really to give them shelter or protection or to be in a loving relationship. More so to have a son. More so to have a son. And he was praying to Krishna. He was praying like, okay, bless me with a son, bless me with a son. Again, there are two things in life, or maybe say so. This is more for someone who is religious or who is a bit, say, spiritual oriented. For him, two things in life. Say, one is every one of us plan. We cannot live without making plans. One is I make a plan and Krishna kindly approve the plan, kindly sanction the plan. This is what I'm doing. This is what I desire. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I want, and all kindly approve. So, King Chitraketu, Krishna, I desire a son. I'm going to marry another woman. It's not working. Another woman. I want a son. And where does the where do we draw a line? Where do we draw a line? Krishna, I want a son. Kindly approve. Kindly bless this marriage. Kindly bless this marriage, and let me have a son. Let me have a son. So one religious pious, but not param dharma. Bhagavatam is to put us into param dharma. So religious pious is what? Krishna, I've got a plan. Kindly fit in my plan. Kindly approve my plan. And those who have not found their shelter in Krishna, or those who have not found their shelter in spirituality for that matter, like those who uh, very with full resolve consider themselves to be atheists, for them it doesn't matter also, like in the sense, for them they still everyone plans, but God sanctioned the plan, that is not in the picture. Someone who is religious pious, for him God sanctioned the, I've got this plan, God kindly sanction it and make me happy. This is what somewhat Arjuna also, Krishna, I have this plan, I don't want to fight the war, kindly approve it, sanction it, and that will give me satisfaction. Here also King Chitraketu, similar lines. I have this plan. I'm sunless. I'm having this experience of bereavement or separation, incompleteness. Kindly approve the plan. Another is uh, uh, another is that Krishna, what is your plan? Kindly reveal your plan and engage me in your plan. Kindly include me in your plan. I'm sure you have a plan. Yeah. We all make plans. Krishna also has plans. Why not? Krishna has plans, so we make plan. And Krishna, kindly engage me, include me in your plan. Within, inside me, I may have lots of plans, lots of material desires to travel America, to travel UK. Somewhere I heard devotees chanting somewhere in India. Uh, is like Mora ei Abhilash. Uh, अमेरिका है दियो वास मोर यही अभिलाष लंदन है दियो वास है ना. So we have so many abhilashas, so many desires that oh, if I can get a residence here, if I can get this here, if I can get that here. But Param Dharma doesn't teach us like that. Srimad Bhagavatam, if we want to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, thing is Krishna, kindly reveal your plan to me, please, will you? By your own sweet will, request you, and include me in your plan. That is the joy of life, to be included in God's plan. And this is Srimad Bhagavatam helping us understand transcendence, helping us go into transcendence. So, translation purport: when the seeds are sown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants and sometimes do not. Action is one thing, result is another thing. I may try so hard I may try so hard to get a job or to come out of a job, to pass an exam or to get a house or not get a house. I may try so hard to get into a relationship or come out into a relationship, but the result is not in my hand. Result is another thing. And this is why, as they say, like karmana deva netrena, we are given results in our life by the higher authorities, predominantly based on our karma and desires, whatever is our due quota on those lines. A beautiful instruction Srila Narada Muni gives in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, text 18. Tasyeva heto prayatete kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyada तल्लभ्यते दुःखवद अन्यथा सुखम कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररमहसा. So tasyeva heto, tasyeva therefore heto, cause, that reason. Prayatete kovido, make endeavor. Kovido is one who is philosophically inclined and intelligent. And us practicing devotees, we are deemed or supposed to be intelligent. We should be, we are intelligent as well. Anyone who is born in a human form of life is intelligent or should make use of this intelligence. This ultimate end. What? That make endeavor for that ultimate gain which has never been had or which can never be had by going up and down in the different lokas or getting sense gratification in different means and ways. That, anyways, we have had since eternity, and that, anyways, what is bound to come is bound to come. If one is to go into heavenly planets, what is materially destined is pretty much written. So there is no point making much adjustment around it. Real development is development of the consciousness. That is the real progress. Flow of one's love towards Krishna. Flow of one's energy towards Krishna. And this is something wherein I have a free will. Wherein I have been given a free will. Just an example, see, a dog is taken to a walk, right? And what is that called? Dog collar and a rope, right? If there is a particular term for it. So dog in the collar, say he's say bound up or by a rope, and the gentleman who is taking the dog for the walk is holding the dog by the rope. Now the dog can walk. Dog has the liberty to walk, and in fact dog is actually walking in front of its master. He's ahead of his master. or he thinks that he's ahead of his master, he's in front of his master, or he might think that he's leading the master. But who has got the rope? The master has got the rope. And the dog can walk as far as the rope allows him to walk. He cannot, he may try to walk a bit further, but the master can anytime pull the rope back and hold the dog. So I may think that, wow, human form of life, I can exploit matter, I can be really happy. Let me work hard, let me do this way and that way. I would be happy. Well, whatever providence has allocated is allocated. Not much adjustment can be made around it. But one thing is not in the hands of Lord Brahma. Providence meaning Lord Brahma. One thing is not in the hands of Lord Brahma, the creator, the Vidhata, is the revival of my Krishna consciousness. Uh, No one has got um, intervention as such there. No one has got monopoly or involvement as such there. That is in my personal hand. That is in my personal caliber, say. And this human life is meant to exercise that right. My personal, say, Krishna consciousness. That is this is why this human form of life is given, or the purpose of this human form of life, to exercise this. And when I exercise my Krishna consciousness, then easily one can cross over, walk over one's material trajectories, hmm, materials upheavals. So this is what, and throughout Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us that become educated and exercise the right which you are actually meant to exercise, where you have your highest interest, which is your real, genuine right. But the material world, world of duality, conditioned world, makes us believe that I am lacking, I am short. Like King Chitraketu, he was so confirmed that I am missing, and having a child will make me happy. And see the effort. And the world also, na, put in effort, put in effort, put in effort. Uh, If just by putting in effort, not everyone can become Roger Federer, or not everyone can become a great politician, not everyone can become a good singer just by putting in efforts. No, efforts is there, but it has to be like sanctioned. So, coming back to the original question, say, the highest force in the universe, in the creation, is the will of the Lord, the desire of the Lord. Uh, As they say, not even a grass of blade. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Nice to know that you are awake. Not even a grass of blade, not even a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. Right? Not even a blade of grass. Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare ke. And this is not just to on the death side, that Mare Krishna Rakhe ke. If Krishna wants to, someone say, leave his body, who can stop? Or if Krishna wants to give someone life, this is all. If Krishna desires the king to have a son, who can stop? Who can stop? And if Krishna doesn't desire, then come on, do whatever arrangement you want. Marry a number of, say, women, have a number of wives, go through whatever artificial or whatever procedure and all. One can exercise one's full mind and intelligence to whatever limit, but if it is not due, it is not due. Uh, So the highest power, force, uh, energy in the universe is will of the Lord, the desire of the Lord. And this is where a devotee should take shelter. This is where will of the Lord, desire of the Lord, or heart of the Lord. Uh, Desires, where do they originate? From the heart. It is my heart's desire. And this is where a devotee, a sadhaka, should be preparing himself, his mood, to take shelter in the, somehow or other, if I can have my, our names are kind of written or imprinted or encrypted, say, we need to just make that move, that how can I fit myself, align myself within the desire of the Lord. And simultaneously, I may be carrying so many unwanted desires. Okay, But now, Krishna, let me make this my topmost desire, to be under your desire, to be within your desire. And that is the only way I can purify all other desires or transform or come over all other whatever desires I am having. Otherwise, in life, it is life is no more than a seesaw. There's this in parks. There's this. So life is otherwise no more than a seesaw. Up, down, seesaw. Uh, so it's like sometimes desires met, sometimes not met. Sometimes desires met, sometimes not met. Sometimes jubilation, sometimes lamentation. Sometimes jubilation, sometimes lamentation. What an irony. It's like robots are having much better life than humans then. Yeah. Machines have much better life than humans then. Or animals for that matter. No, plants for that matter have much better life than humans because they are very much within the instinct, within the zone and all. So they are living by this. But us, we have been given a higher responsibility for some other end, but I'm pursuing going in some other direction. So this is why up, down, up, down, up, down. Wow, so much of variation will come about until and unless I fit myself in the desire or will of the Lord. Otherwise, we see so many cases, right? If we see BBC or newspaper round the globe, a mother, a lady gave birth to a child in an aeroplane. Sometimes we hear this. It's not, yeah, can check. And a building collapsed. Many people passed away, say, but some child, 10-month-old, survived for 3-4 days. Shishi Khoranta Mayapur Sashi ki jai. Accident happened. Someone who was nowhere involved in the accident, he passed away, and those who were involved in the accident, they survived. So many things. So where do we end a line? Where do we draw a line? Where do we draw a line? This is why Bhagavatam teaches us to give up material intelligence, to give up material thought process altogether. So it is very correctly also said that Krishna consciousness or spirituality for that matter begins when I give up my material intelligence, give up my material thought process. That is when Krishna consciousness, real Krishna consciousness will begin. Otherwise, it's like, Krishna, I've got this plan, kindly approve the plan uh, and make me happy. Okay, on this note, maybe I will take a pause. If there are any questions or comments, please, any clarifications. Yes, please.
Hi Krishna Prabhu, thank you. How to recognize what is Krishna's plan and what's our own plan?
Very good. Very nice question. How to understand what is Krishna's plan? One is studying scriptures, studying Shastras. In a way, if one wants to enroll oneself into a university for some course, right? University launches, provides brochures or pamphlets, right? This is what we offer accommodation wise, library facility, curriculum, faculty, and the alumni from the uni and what job prospects on those lines. So, and then we know, okay, this is what the expectations say of the uni is. Huh? How do we understand the desire of Krishna? Hmm? So, by studying Shastra, studying scripture, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, clearly Krishna says, right? Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. Hmm? Mai asakta mana partha. So many places Krishna is mentioned. So that is his desire. What is his desire? So this is how Arjuna also got to know Krishna's desire when he was hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita from Krishna. So one way is studying scriptures. We'll get to know what is the desire of Krishna. Another way, associating with devotees. Hmm? Uh, realized souls, if we pray for the association of realized souls in our life, uh, Shabda Brahmani Nishnata Na Nishnayat Pare Yadi. So, one who is Shabd Brahmani Nishnata, as in one who is very well grounded in scriptural understanding. Hmm. Na Nishnayat Parayadi. Also, like one who is very well grounded in the devotional sentiments. Hmm. In pure devotional service, in love and devotional sentiment to Krishna. So, one is by studying scriptures, another associating with them devotees, those who are well versed in scriptures, those who understand the message of Krishna consciousness, as in those who know the desire of the Lord, and also those who carry that same mood, that sentiment, that devotion, and that surrender. So, by coming in that under their vicinity, in their proximity, when we practice devotional service, then we will understand that desire. So, as in terms of how His Holiness Dhirashanta Maharaj had come, right? And he gave us this beautiful talks, and he enlightened us like the solution for how is depending on Krishna. So all of this how get resolved when we depend on Krishna, and all of the hows get resolved. How? By doing good japa, by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Uh, then there will be a proper, real internal transformation. Krishna consciousness is a revelation in the heart. So that revelation in the heart will come about by good japa, good prayers, by communicating ourselves with the deities. And we need to ask ourselves, how much Krishna consciousness do I want in life? It's a very dangerous path to be going in the desire of the Lord, by the way. It can be very, very dangerous in the sense to go in someone's desire. Na? It can be so dangerous, like I want to desire to work for this company and say if my desire is fulfilled, and later on, oh, why did I desire this? Oh, I was not fully aware, and what have I got myself into? Relationships also we see like that many times, right? So, for a conditioned soul, only for a conditioned soul, it will appear a very dangerous path to traverse, getting into the desire of the Lord, because a conditioned soul doesn't is very worrisome, right? How Krishna will use him. But by associating with devotees, by good japa, by good prayer, by studying scriptures, we can understand the desire of the Lord, and then the desire is to pray for more and more blessing, more and more revelation, uh, more and more humility. Actually, then we can understand the desire of the Lord. So scriptures help us, but more mercy of scriptures is like paroksh kripa, as in there is mercy, but a bit indirect. The real kripa is the association of devotees of Mahat Purush. Human life is meant for that. King Chitraketu knew of this somewhat, so he welcomed Angira Muni when Angira Muni came, but he wasn't in a position to ask for devotional service. And Angira Muni also assessed that he is not in a position to go into pure devotional service. He needs some a bit more shocks in life. He needs a bit more waking up or shaking up in life. Okay, setbacks help us to go forward. Setbacks are very helpful. King Chitraketu had this big setback, big lamentation, and then he was able to take the next step. Does that somewhat answer your question? So, yes, bro.
Yeah, this nice point about the Lord's will being the most powerful force, and that also because gurus and sadhus' desire is also aligned with the will of the Lord, and therefore it's also as powerful, or sometimes even a desire of pure devotee. Because Krishna kind of empowers a pure devotee with certain kind of decision power. So what pure devotee wants then becomes a Krishna's desire at the same time. So they both kind of complement each other. We have so many examples in Prabhupada's lives, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's, if you get money, print books. Prabhupada took it as a life and soul, and there was like his instruction to go to the West. He said, I'm just following it blindly, and then you can see how much empowerment comes from that. So you cannot fail by aligning yourself with that desire, because our desires, as you say, you can fail, and it gets sanctioned, may not get sanctioned by the Lord, but that aligning ourselves with the will of the Lord and Guru and Sadhu empowers, whatever we do with this mercy and strength and power of the Lord. So it cannot fail. I mean, it may not necessarily be the result that we want, but ultimately the result is that, we become more purified, and not externally necessarily the result will be there as we want, but the purification will be there.
Thank you, bro. When will that day come in my life, personally speaking? When at least one of the result or aim or desire of my life, say I'm through it, as in, if it happens, okay, fine. If it doesn't happen, also okay, fine. We cannot go into pure devotional service or proper devotional service if I'm still in the mode of hankering and lamentation. Devotional service doesn't happen like that if I'm still hankering and lamenting. And transcendental hankering and transcendental lamentation is another thing. I understand somewhat in theory, which is good, which is required also, but it is not the end of it. Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole Krishna consciousness is to make us more desirous, make us more ambitious, to make us fully ambitious. This is the highest desire, to attain Golok Vrindavan. This should be one's desire. This is all for self introspection. Again, King Chitraketu is not like like he's been. King Chitraketu is not on the court, say, as in he's not on the case. The case is me only. I am the victim, or I am kind of the problem, say. So this is for personally for me to check my desires, as they say, right? Where intentions grow, energy flow. Yeah? Whatever my intentions are, that is where I'm going to put my energy. Whatever my intentions are. So this is why from day one should be very clear of one's destination. What is my destination? What do I want in Krishna consciousness? Uh, why did I start practicing Krishna consciousness? What is my destination? Destiny, maybe I might be destined to something or the other, and it is them, mundane. Of course, Krishna is going to use the relative or the mundane destinies, but to give us a platform into transcendence, to make it a platform into transcendence. Yeah. So we should be very clear of my destination. What is my destination? And then I channelize, I dovetail my life for keeping that destination in mind only. It is not easy. It may not be easy. Surely it is an uphill task, and it has its joy also in the struggle. But the real thing is finding the association of an elevated soul. That is the ultimate message. That is the ultimate solution for any question, say. That is the ultimate solution. Finding the association of a Bhagavata personality. And then every inspiration, encouragement, desires, and all will come about. Otherwise, so many things. Otherwise, we are under the shelter of karma, under the shelter of my own desire, under the shelter of Durga Devi, say, under the shelter of demigods, under the shelter of time. So many things, under so many shelters. But this life is meant. How can I take shelter of one who is giving shelter to everyone, Lord Shri Krishna? No? Maya Devi herself claims I'm the shelter of under the shelter of Krishna. Time also claims I'm under the shelter of Krishna. Nature also claims, karma also claims I'm under the shelter of Krishna. So if I take the shelter of Krishna, then no more hankering or lamentation of this material world. Uh, we should Bhagavatam teaches us that we are not this product of material nature, or we are not products of material world. And through nature also we see so many places. Again, there are so many uh, instant karma, delayed karma, this karma, that karma, the intricacies. So many things happen in nature, in our lives. How do we logically understand them? How can we possibly logically try to comprehend or understand so many happenings? Like once some in Thailand, some of the boys, they somehow got into a cave and they got stuck there for many days, a week or more than a week, I believe. And out of proper light, low oxygen, dark, no food, young boys, and I think their teacher was there. So a rescue team was arranged. It was very, first of all, to find their location was very difficult. The community members, family members were all worried. A rescue team was arranged, fine, and then got to know, okay, they are inside. Now, how do we bring them back? Local people were helping, people from Asia and Europe, British people, Canadians, some those who are sea divers and experts. Some flew in actually to help those boys. Now, towards the end, all 10 or 11 boys and the teacher, they came alive. They came fine, sort of alive. They came, managed to come out. But one of the divers, possibly a British diver, he was helping people bring back, and he brought some boys. But on one occasion, he was bringing one boy, and he was low with oxygen. So the boy survived, and he couldn't manage. He gave up his life. And look how karma, how desire, how it works. Someone who is destined to die. No, this is why, if someone is destined to pass away on his bed, everything protected. But if one is destined to be passing away, or say in separation from money, woman, wealth, wine, family, relationships, and all, that is sure to happen. And if someone is supposed to get, one is supposed to get. But this Krishna prem is not in the will of karma, or is not in the hands of nature, material nature. No, this Krishna prem is in my hands. So I should take it as a personal direct question. How much Krishna conscious do I want to be? Do I really want Krishna prem in life? And this is by association of Mahat Sangha, na? Realized souls is what is going to completely help us. As it says in purpose, we should not create plans that will ultimately make me frustrated. Now, someone who is not yet found his shelter in Sri Krishna consciousness still can understand that, wow, I'm making this plan and I know I'm going to be ultimately frustrated. Uh, and then for us practicing devotees, the fight is with my own conditioning. The fight or struggle is not with anyone else. It is not with anyone else. No. Fight is with my own mind, with my own conditioning. And rest, everyone who has come in my life, they've come to help me advance in Krishna consciousness only. Everyone, whosoever. But I should be careful. I should not. Uh, there is a fine line, or a very thick line, or a very clear lines. I should not get dissuaded thinking, what? Oh, this is Krishna's desire. This is the message of Krishna. Actually, Krishna wants me to do this, and I take harbor some desire, or I take some steps, or I make some actions, and then I mean, it should not be used as Krishna's arrangement. Hmm? I should not do something and then, oh, Krishna's arrangement. Krishna wanted me to do this thing. Krishna wanted me to do this thing. Should check how much am I personally driven, and how much is like Krishna's arrangement. And this is why the checking point is what? Guru Sadhu Shastra. They are the checking point. That am I being self-driven here, or is it really Krishna's desire? Otherwise, I create a bit of ruckus in my own Krishna consciousness, and rather than being of use to others, I could be not of proper use to others as well. If I go doing something out of my own whims or entertaining just my mind and intelligence rather than not checking, desires are very, very powerful, very, very powerful. This is why desire is powerful in this world, and the ultimate power is the desire, the will of the Lord, the most powerful. Krishna consciousness is not meant for taking or making excuses. Also, in the name of Krishna consciousness, in the name of pure Krishna consciousness, Krishna consciousness, this is why it is not practiced in isolation. It can never be practiced in isolation. Okay, thank you very much for your patient listening and encouragement. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
His Grace Bhakta Ashish Prabhu ki.
Jai.